Well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is doing great out there. Just kind of hanging out here. Had a couple of things to take care of, so I'm running about 5 minutes behind. But, it's better to be running 5 minutes behind than not running at all. Hope y'all are doing well. I just got a notification that Q&A along with just chit chat notification. And I don't know. I don't know if anybody's got any questions or not. But for the lack of being able to think of a title for the live stream, I just went with that. Pretty much just hanging out. Did you see the thumbnail? Ray, if you're still there, howdy. I don't know if you're still there or not, but you may be working. But anyhow, hope you're doing well and staying warm. Howdy. But I made a thumbnail for this. I guess I'll probably make it the primary. I don't know why that WPS office keeps changing itself to the default. Anyway, I kind of liked it. I don't know. Just trying to make some things new for 2024 or 2025, isn't it? So, let's see. If you didn't see it, window, yeah, there it is. And I figured I can fill in right in here. But I don't know. I thought about putting like a mountain scenery right there, but I'd like to keep it clean where we can put what is the live is about. Anyway, I nearly went along with it. Man, I tell you, I never really thought I'd be around in 2025, to be honest with you, but here I am. I'm just hanging out, and that looks great. I just thought it would be something different. I had the one with me on the scooter for a while, but I was trying to make it look different. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, well, just goes to show we never know. But I'm hoping I had a fly flying around here. It's been freezing, and I turned my heater on. I turned it off last night for 3 hours so I could get a meter reading. You can, well, at least in Texas anyway, they may be everywhere, but it's a smart meter. You can, uh, put your, what is it called? The EISN, your electric meter number or whatever, and your provider and all that. And then you can see every 15 minutes, the usage of your electricity. So I turned that heater off completely, the unit, turned it off from 9. I was going to do it from 9 to midnight, but I wound up doing it 9 to 1. But I was running the space heaters. So I'm going to try. I turned it back on at 6. Well, I turned it back on at 1 o'clock last night, and I had it sitting on 60. But earlier, when I got in, I turned it on at 6 o'clock, and I put it on 70 degrees. And I'm going to let that run. It's kind of nice not to have to be running these floor heaters and I'm sitting there trembling. I'm sitting there looking at the clock, actually the date. So it's been running for 3 hours now, but you have to wait one day in order to see it. What was that called? Let's see. This is called Smart Meter Texas. Now there might be a Smart Meter Missouri and Illinois and Kansas. I don't know. I don't know what all there are, but if you got a smart meter at the house, that should show you. we're going to see what it does tomorrow. I haven't heard it kick on, but like I said, it's nice to be able to walk around this house without having to shiver and keep this. Well, of course, the door's shut right now anyway, because I like having that clock there. I think it looks good. But anyway, I've got my big light in here tonight and my camera because I've got I put it back in the package. I got a flashlight I got to review. I think this is going to be a good one. I didn't want to review it, but they talked me into it. And I thought, they said it's better than it because it was only like 2,000 lumens, and the page talks about not having or having some of them saying they're 100,000 lumens and they're really not, and this one really is. And it seems bright. I just shined it right here. I didn't take it outside, but I liked it because it looks like it's going to have a tight beam. The one that I had got when my car got broken into, they stole my flashlight, and I had it because it had a real tight beam, and you could shine it on apartment buildings and stuff and see the numbers without the light flooding over into the windows. Not shivering sounds great. Yeah, tell you what, but I don't know about the electric bill. We're going to see. But I've got that to review, and I got where is it? A cordless vacuum cleaner back there. I'm going to be a vacuum salesman. Vacuum cleaner salesman. I don't. Did they have those where you're from? You know, back when you was a kid, the people that go knocking on a door and trying to sell vacuum cleaners. I think what was it? Kirby, not Kirby. I know Kirby did it too. I think my cousin worked for Kirby temporarily back probably in the 70s. But there was another big. It wasn't Hoover, but it was one of them. Anyway, I just remember. Well, you can watch it like on those shows like Leave It to Beaver and stuff, and people walking around trying to sell vacuum cleaners. We did indeed have salespeople come to the door. Yeah, they used to. I know, but they probably did it in the 50s is when it started. But I remember seeing and hearing about it in the 60s. I really don't remember. The only people I know that come to your house, and they did up until probably 20 years ago or something, was rainbow carpet. They go in there and sprinkle a bunch of junk on your dirt on your carpet and said, "Oh, we can get it right up. Let's show you." They'd want to come in and clean one room for free. You just had to listen to their spiel. We did that one time. Wasn't worth it. Oh, that fly just landed upside down. You're gonna see my bald head for a moment. I bet I can get him with that paper towel. I must have hit him a while ago. It just popped down right here. I don't know. It's a huge sucker too. Not no more. It's almost the size of a little bee. No, actually, that's the second fly I've seen in this house. I don't know. I don't like flies. I don't like spiders and snakes and flies, and that ain't what it takes. Then we also had a rag and bone man too. What is that? Rag and bone. He'd be dead now. Yes, sir. He ain't gonna be bothering my biddles here in a little while. I did make some jalapeno poppers, but I wanted some fried burritos too, but I didn't have time. The jalapeno poppers might be enough for tonight. Be dead. That's funny. But yeah, I got. Oh, I do have an idea on. I signed up for Australia, Amazon Australia, but I might have to do a little research on that because for some reason it didn't show like a storefront or anything. It's just the associates. So I don't know if Australia has the on-site commissions or if they're just off-site commissions, with the regular affiliate links. Rag and Bone mean would come by on a horse and a cart collecting all the metal stuff. Oh, hmm. So there's scrap metal collectors. Man, a horse and a cart. I haven't seen legitimately, I haven't never seen a horse in a wagon. I mean, I have seen horse and wagons out, but they was doing it just to be doing it, not because it was their real transportation. But different country, even different parts of the United States, you got the Amish up there, and I don't know, a lot of things they do that I totally agree with. Not everything, but there's a lot of things I do. They come down the road clanging their bells, shouting any old iron. And have y'all, if anybody's watching this, I'll direct it to you too, and you can leave a comment in the comment section. And did y'all read some of the news break stories of what's going on down there on the Texas border? Well, Trump wasn't playing games, but the one story I read, the guy, for some reason, the guy was waiting on his wife. She was in the hospital, but he was waiting on her, and they come up ordering him to move immediately, yelling at him and being really rude. And, that's what he told the news media. Perhaps they told him a couple of times and he wouldn't listen, and then they got hateful and then kind of rubbed him wrong, so he thought he'd blast him out. But I don't know. But they ain't playing no games. They closed them fences or the sidewalk off there at El Paso. I think this was in Brownwood or somewhere. But man, it's just a matter of time before they start working their way up. And hopefully they will eliminate, well, try to keep it polite and nice. Hopefully our uh, offers for our gig work will get better. I'm 100% for people coming in, 100%. I got no problem with that, but they needed to come in legally. But I know it does cost a lot to do all that. So when the cart parked outside the house, I'd feed the horse with carrots and sugar cubes. The neighbors would shovel the poop and used to fertilize the rose garden. There you go. Oh man, I remember one time, my dad drove a cattle truck, and I guess it was probably in the 70s I don't think we did it at Lakeside. I think it was when we lived in Wichita Falls. Anyway, I guess he had the idea of putting the cow manure out of the trailer for batteries going down. I think for fertilizer, but it rained and it made the neighborhood not smell like roses. Oh, if my mom was here, she could probably tell you more about that. I remember it a little bit when I was little. I was pretty young, so I don't remember a whole lot. Did that? There we go. My big laptop, the one I did the review on, I use it for a monitor for the camera. But for some reason, when you leave it plugged in and it gets fully charged, it starts flickering like on and off, like it's getting too much charge. It's a lot of money and paperwork to be there, be here. Yeah, so much paperwork, a lot of medical stuff too to do. I'll make sure you bring any disease, etc. Yeah, well, even I do know on a cruise when you go down to uh, where did I go? Yucatan and not Costa Rica. Anyway, down in Mexico, if you do the excursion of the horseback riding, you have to have a medical exam when you come back. Even if you're a citizen, they want you to do paperwork and because you was around the horses. We never did. I didn't care nothing about that. I'd like to do some of the Jeep rides and stuff, but we'll end up just doing the snorkeling, which I loved it. That was cool. Yeah, I understand it's a lot of money, but there are so many bad people, not just ordinary citizens or ordinary people trying to come here and work, but there's a lot of bad people, you know. They were releasing them from prison down there and telling them to get out of the country and to come to the United States. You know, I don't know how much all that is for fact, but I do know there's been a lot of people that's convicted uh, murderers and drug dealers and everything else that's gotten busted. But anyway, oh yeah, on the horses, yeah, yep. You had to do some kind of paperwork, and you had to go do a checkup after you was back for so many days. I guess maybe their horses carried diseases, probably from the flies. I don't know. I never did do it. You know, I just growing up here, you had the opportunity. Most people had the opportunity to ride horses at different times of their life. Some people every day, but the idea of paying to ride a horse, is, I don't know. I've done it down there at Gulfport. We rented horses one time, but we didn't have a guide, so I don't know if it was one of my aunt and uncle's kids, my uncle's stepkids, or somebody knew somebody. I don't know what the deal was. I just remember we rode through some school, and underneath the awning of the school, I think if anyone wanted to get in the country that were not kosher, they'd figure a way. I'm sure. Well, they sealed off Texas. That's I don't know. I haven't seen nothing on Arizona, so I don't know. But they're supposed to start, deporting them. Now, he wasn't playing. Yeah, it. I don't think. I talked to one of the guys that does Spark here. I saw him Saturday or Sunday, and he said, "Oh, I can't wait till Monday." And I was like, "What's happening Monday?" He goes, "Oh, it's the inauguration." He goes, "They're going to have all of those Venezuelans out of here." And I thought, that's not going to happen overnight, because you can't, if somebody doesn't look white, if they look like they're from Mexico or wherever, you can't just pull them over and say, "I need to see your ID." You can't do that. But I guess if they see large groups, they could come up with a reason to check their IDs or if on traffic stops and things like that. But you're not going to get rid of them. And there's some good people that came over, you know, families, and they just try to better themselves. But if they could just sift through it, you know, well, maybe it'll work out for those. And then there was people coming up that was ready to come across the border, and they're sitting there at the border right now from no telling where, and they're stuck because they shut the gate down. And I know a lot of people in El Paso live in El Paso and they work in Mexico or vice versa, and they walk across that walkway every day to get to work. I've watched YouTube videos on that, and that gate's shut. There's no more of that. Um, that was as of today. Then you give it a couple of days or tomorrow or something, they'll probably start checking their IDs, and if they're valid, then they'll be able to go back and forth. But it's going to take a little work. Well, supposedly they're supposed to prevent that this time. That last time Trump was in there, they was busting the adults and sending the kids to another facility, and that was kind of wrong. You need to keep families together. If one goes, they all go. But it, yeah, and then you can kind of look at it another way. The families that came over knew the the chances are going to happen. And for the last month, the ones that are sitting down at the border and don't know what to do, they've had a month to know this was coming. As soon as Trump won, he's already said what he was going to do on day one, and he did it. You know, I'm not. It's I'm all like I said. I'm all for good folks coming, and probably over half of them, probably 70 to 80% of them are good people. But what do you think of him pardoning all of those people? Oh, from the Capitol. I don't. I think a lot of that was blown out of proportion. But you know, I don't have a problem with it, to be honest with you. For unless they hurt somebody. I know they was going into places where they shouldn't have went, but the people when they had all the riots and where was it in LA and places like that in New York, did they arrest all them and put them in prison? They destroyed private property, you know, breaking into buildings and burning cars and all this and that. They arrested some of them and then they wound up letting them out. So just because it's the Capitol building doesn't make it any any more than somebody's personal business or their personal property. So I don't know. I mean, what they did wasn't right, but they was all riled up, you know. Yeah. Now, see on deals like that, if they know who like killed the cop or injured the other officers or anybody, if they cause physical harm, then no, absolutely not. They shouldn't be pardoned. You do the was that you do the crime, you do the time. And if they killed the cop, that's capital murder. They shouldn't be alive to be getting pardoned if they pardon them. I'm all for capital punishment, 100%. All this mambo pambo. Oh, you hurt my feelings, and I don't deserve this because I'm reformed. Well, go tell that to the family. No, you kill, you die. Period. Unless there is a reason for it. And I do believe in justifiable homicide. I believe in that. You know, somebody hurt somebody or kills somebody's family member or rapes their child or something like that. Justifiable homicide, 100%. Lots of hogs out there nowadays. People's got backhoes, take care of business, and just shut up and move on. I'm a little old school and a little southern, but just to cold bloodedly kill somebody, no, no, no excuse for that one. Send them to the big court upstairs. What was that Ron White said one time? We have an express lane in Texas, which Texas has kind of gotten wimpy on that too. Yeah. Well, that's the way it should be. I tell you what, I get so frustrated and I just don't understand it. I watch that on live patrol and the cops pull out their guns and stop, I'm going to shoot. They never shoot. If they would start shooting, then a lot of it would start tapering. So, unfortunately, there's going to be some situations that were a little extreme. And, if a 16-year-old kid is coming after you with a pipe or a knife or something, and he gets shot and killed, that's bad. But he did it, and he's guilty. But people have lost respect for the police, and there's the majority of the cops are good, I think. But every town's got them. There's some bad ones, but what's the point of pulling out a gun if you're not going to use it? Why even carry the gun? You know, carry some good tasers, and they got those. I watched a video or a commercial. I guess it was an ad between on YouTube, and it was a pepper spray ball, and it looked like a real gun, but it shot pepper balls. Man, it hit and it explodes, and it shoots pepper spray up in their face. That is a cool little weapon. That's what the cops need to be carrying. They don't need to be carrying a 45 or a 9 millimeter. They're not going to use it. If you're not going to use it, why carry it? Carry something that you're actually going to use, and teach these little punks that they can't just run. Shoot them. Period. And if they had those peppers ball guns, of course, if they was running, you wouldn't do much good to shoot them in the back. It might hurt though. Need to do something though, because everybody knows all they got to do is run, and the cops ain't going to shoot you. About a 98% chance they will catch you, because most of those guys are in pretty good shape. Sheriff's Department, not so much. Police Department, yes. Yeah, teach them the hard way. We were taught respect. I didn't know anybody, even some of the really questionable characters I hung around at different times in my life. None of them would have done half the stuff that these people are doing nowadays. They was respectful to a certain degree. They may walk into Hickory Farms and steal a big old bag of beef jerky, but they're not going to knock somebody upside the head to steal their purse or something. I don't know of anybody that ever did that back in the day. If you did that back in the day, you'd probably have 3 or 4 guys chase you down and beat the snot out of you, and you're going to learn. Don't do it again. And that's the way it needs to be. Quit worrying about it. And if they threaten you, oh, I'm going to get a lawyer, I'm going to sue you, beat them up again. Make it worth it. If you're going to get in trouble, make it worth it. I don't know. I'm not saying violence is the cure for everything, but it would sure cure a lot of things. And it's justifiable. So, I don't know what. Anyway, this is kind of a weird conversation. If somebody was watching the live stream, they'd be saying, hey, I thought this was a review channel and they're talking about beating people up. If you are watching the replay or something, or if you're just sitting in the background, welcome to Random Period. And even over on Dash and Grandpa's channel on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, ain't no telling what we'll be talking about there either. This is just life. This is relaxation time. We can talk about anything we want to talk about as long as it's appropriate for young ears, because you never know who's listening. Can you imagine if the cops from way back when would have done it? They had to deal with the idiot videoing. Oh man, videoing them got stopped by yeah, we're reviewing tactics. There you go. Oh man. Yeah, these guys going around harassing cops to just try to video them to get clicks and views and stuff like that. That's wrong. That is wrong in so many ways. There's some cops that do need to be called out, but you got some of these guys going out there and doing it just to instigate stuff. Why? If a cop, does something wrong, okay, have them on video. You sit your GoPro up there on the dash and video it or whatever. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. But I think a lot of things is there's too many people that's getting authority that is not mentally capable of they're not mentally capable to have the position that they've got because they can't handle stress. And if you can't handle somebody, yelling at you and cussing you out and stuff like that, then you shouldn't be in that position. That's like when I worked at the state hospital. I never had nobody spit directly at me. Now I got spit on them, but they were spitting at the other person that got on me, and they go, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get you. I meant to get him." And they made it clear. But you can't tackle them over that or take them down. And you have to be able to maintain your composure, and a lot of cops out there can't. And I think it's because they're just hiring too many of little, kind of like with the gig apps. They let anybody do it, and the cops they do backgrounds and stuff like that. But some people can become mentally unstable because something happened in their life, and they might be perfect today, and in 6 months they may be walking on thin ice, and it won't take much to set them off. Well, I saw that video back several months ago. I was wound up watching them doing it to the police station. I wanted to stop the fools. They call it auditing, I believe is what they said. Yeah, it's harassment. And like walking into a lot of times you'll see them walking into a tag office. It's a state, it's a government facility, and they'll be videoing, holding their cameras and walking in front of the booths and the windows and stuff like that. And they say that they can record in there, even though they're inside the facility, but it's a public facility. I wouldn't have any problem with them, if you got a lot of the places have like pictures and stuff on the walls, historical pictures and whatnot. I wouldn't have no problem with that. But you got people over there behind the windows with their computers open, and they got people's personal information, and somebody's walking around with a camera. I don't think cameras should be in there. If you want to point it that way, fine, point it that way. Don't point it this way. I don't care where you're at. And as far as and walking down the street, people can walk right in front of your house and video your entire house. And they can sit out in front of your house and video you coming in and out of it because you're entering a public area. And I don't think that's right. Like the Google Earth thing, when they're doing the maps and they're driving down the road with the big cameras on top of the car. I get that. I don't see nothing wrong with that, but they're not picking anything out in particular. They're just videoing it. And I got no problem with that. And I do video, I believe street photography is fine, but I also believe that if somebody asks you, even on life patrol, you got the people they pull over. Some of them say, "I don't want to be videoed." I don't really think they should be videoed then. You can blur out their face or whatever, which they do that in some cases. But I don't care if you're in the public or not. If you don't want to be videoed, then the person running the camera ought to have respect enough to say, "Cool, I'll cut that part out." Like I used to do a lot of the state parks, and you would go down to the swimming area, and I wouldn't be videoing and stuff. But if there was like kids over there swimming and stuff, I would cut that part out because I just don't think kids need to be on video on the public internet. Legally, I could have done it. You wasn't close enough to see who they were, but just the idea of it. I wouldn't want somebody videoing my grandkids like that. Nope, cameras should not be allowed at the DMV or in the post office either. Yeah, well, that's true. Never thought about the post office. Our post office, one downtown, is really well. I haven't been in there in a long time, but they had a lot of antique stuff in there. So, but if there again, respect. If you had respect, you wouldn't be videoing anything that might cause issues. But if you was videoing antique pictures and stuff like that, I don't have a problem with that. But I made it a local Pizza Hut, and the manager said that he had preferred not to be filmed. I was fine with it. Yeah, if they asked not to be filmed, then we should respect their privacy. Exactly. Who was it? Was it Sarah Elizabeth? One of them. Somebody got in trouble for videoing during the door dashes. I can't remember who it was. It was either Mushy Moo, Sarah. I don't remember. I think even Pedro got in trouble once or twice, but I don't know. I never videoed really going into the store, you know, doing the drop off and stuff like that, or driving up to it. Yeah, but actually taking it in because there's patrons inside the store. Oh, dashing across me. Oh, he got in trouble for it too. This was 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even know if Chuck was doing any of this then. I've been, I'd never knew of Chuck up until about a year ago. So I don't know if he's newer to it or if he's been around and we just didn't know him. I don't know. But no, this was he got banned from DoorDash. Oh, for videoing. Well, it's speaking of DoorDash, I know this is gig related and be a good one. I may say it again tomorrow night. Um, I got scheduled for a DoorDash for Friday night from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. I was just going to see if I could get on there, and I saw it, and I thought I'll turn it on. I'm not going to drive to Wichita to DoorDash. I'll stay right here where I live, and if something pops up here, I'll get it. But I'm not driving to Wichita for 30 minutes to make $2 or $3 if I make any. But I still got that one strike. What's it called? Let's see. What is it called? I don't even remember where you look. It was when I got in trouble. What do you call that? It's been so long since I did DoorDash. A new reward for our Dashers in Platinum. You can now unlock a discount of 30% off up to $10 to use in the DoorDash app when your ratings qualify. You apply. Oh, well, okay, whatever. Contract violation. Yes, that's still on there. I've had that thing over a year. Yeah. They got a new pace. I don't even know. I don't know. We may have to look into this more before turn it on Friday night. There's like um there's a Pizza Hut they deliver from here, and Genova's is an Italian food place, and probably McDonald's and Taco Bell. I think that's about it. There's like 4 restaurants here, and that'll be it. I don't I don't remember the last time I dashed, to be honest with you. Earnings. Let's see when my earnings were. Is there a way to? Faster tax refunds. I don't even know. There's no earnings on here. Is there something you can click on to get a date span? I don't know. Lifetime shopping orders 52. Lifetime deliveries 1364. Been a long time. Where do you? Couldn't you click on earnings and be able to go back? 'Cause that's all I see. I mean, is there somewhere to click on that where you can see? Oh, view payout details, maybe? Recent history, last 90 days, summary of your earnings. Well, January 2024, there's a pay of 28.75. And let's click February. February 0, March $9, April 0, May 0. Oh, I closed it. Yeah, so March. I did one DoorDash in March. The other one was in January. I guess I did a couple. I don't have to worry about a 1099 from them, though. That's for sure. Anyway, I just thought I'd turn it on just for the heck of it, because Spark has been horrible, and I don't know how it is there in other places, but man, I know this is all gig stuff, but oh well. But Spark, they're having like 25 miles away, and it's paying like $15. I mean, driving all the way over into Oklahoma. One was going to Byers, which is almost Oklahoma, going the other way, but up to 25 miles away. I mean, you're 2 or 3 towns away. And I don't understand. I just don't get reason why people would even consider taking that kind of mileage. 11, most of mine, when I work out of the Walmart that I'm closest to, it's 11 miles and 12 miles. And I don't mind them because one's there's 75-mile-an-hour speed zone going either way. And I'd much rather have highway miles than city miles and wear out your brakes and your tires and everything else from turning. And anyhow, I'm going to do a video next Tuesday, but uh, mainly on getting signed up with Amazon. I did a little screenshot, and That way, if anybody wants to know how to do it, share screen, window. I think that's right. Yeah. The Amazon Australia. I was watching something and it was talking about Australia being, it was a guy went to uh, China, went to China uh, to a factory and was talking to the owner. The owner was, I don't know if he was from England or where, but he wasn't Chinese. But he had an accent. But anyway, he asking about where most of their products go to, and the majority of them go to the U.S. But then he was saying UK and Australia. Oh, did you get a lot of dashes in this past year or last year? I got, what was it, two or three? Spark said that their W-2s was ready, but I went onto the site and 2023 was the only thing up there. I don't know. I didn't check it today. I just checked it last night. But I got an email yesterday. Tax time is here. We'll just figure out how much more I've got to be making my monthly payments for. Yeah, I didn't think there would be that much sales in Australia, but I guess there is because he ranked them, like third. And I thought, well, I'll sign up for them. Oh, maybe fourth because I think it was Canada, UK, it was US, then Canada, UK, and then Australia. But I'm signed up for Germany, but I made a video or two and I tried to put it on there and it got rejected because of the language. So apparently you'd have to put it in German, and I don't know German. So I quit messing with it. I know she put a short out about CapCut. I didn't realize that you could. I do have it now, but I didn't realize you could download CapCut and have it on your computer. Because man, I would use it online on their website, and it was slow. It was hard to manipulate. The one you put on the computer is a little different, but I'll figure it out because it sure makes it a lot easier if you're going to cut a landscape, more make it portrait. It was cheaper for Australians to order from the U.S. than to buy and get it shipped from the other side of Australia. Wow, that's crazy. Hmm. I wouldn't have thought that, but I don't know. I get it though. 'Cause, you look at like, I guess it's a situation kind of like Dallas. You can live in the Dallas metroplex, and it may be closer to live halfway between here and Dallas than what it would be across town in Dallas, because it may take you an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to work. And if you lived closer to Wichita Falls or 100 miles around, it might be quicker. So maybe by the time they got through all the landscape and all that in Australia, it was cheaper and quicker to have it shipped. I don't know. You use iMovies for editing more than anything. Well, I know Tim uses CapCut a lot, and I have used it, but it was just to cut video with, to, but you have to cut it though and then move it because I don't stay in the center of the frame. If you stayed in the center of the frame, it'd be all right. And there's getting to be so many tools out there that you can use, and a lot of them are free. I use Filmora, but And they're adding stuff on to it all the time, but it's a paid for, but it's a one time. You buy the software, you're done. Lifetime. They tried to get people to have to pay again, but a big YouTuber called them out on it, and they backed off because they had a lot of unhappy people over that one. Now that YouTuber doesn't even, he broke his association off with them. He was they sponsored his videos and stuff. He worked with them, ambassador for him, but he left them. It's probably all over that. It was crazy with shipping there. Brazil was a no-no. So expensive and stuff would go missing. I just thought I'd throw Australia on there and see if I could get, a couple more dollars a month. I don't hardly make anything off of UK and Canada. Canada, I think last month was like $9, and I don't know. Where's Dash and Grandpa or Grandpa's random reviews? Manage videos. Oh, I don't want that. I want Amazon. What am I doing? Let's say earnings, consolidated summary. UK $13.70, and Canada $13.50. The US was a lot more compared to that. It has went down though. I am so glad YouTube. I got paid for YouTube. I was so tickled to get that. Do you do a lot of Twitter? I don't do anything on there. I don't do Twitter, X, whatever it is. I don't do Instagram. I don't do TikTok. I don't do none of them. Now, what I do think that I may dabble into just a little bit. I watched one video on it last night. Pinterest. Apparently, you can put your affiliate links on Pinterest. So I may look into that. Yeah, I could do that. But on YouTube, you only get 3 hashtags on there. That's all that's going to show up on the searches. I mean, you can put as many as you want, but only the first 3 show up. I don't know. Different people talk. They say hashtags are good. Other people say hashtags are bad because it directs them away from your site and onto your competition site. So you got a lot of work from putting stuff on Pinterest. I think I have a Pinterest account. I thought it was just for pictures and stuff, but apparently you can put videos or something on it. I don't know. So I say I don't know much of anything about it, but I may dabble into that a little bit because I need to create some more resources. Because I do like gig work. I enjoy doing Spark and stuff, but what I don't enjoy is putting so much gas in the car. And right now, Spark is awful. I don't. It would be really tough to make a good living. You'd be having to work 10 to 12 hours a day, and I don't want to work 10 to 12 hours a day. I mean, you could probably still make a living at it, but that's a lot of work and a lot of miles on your car and a lot of gas. And if I can make the same or more doing this kind of stuff, I'd rather do this kind of stuff. But I like getting out of the house, and that'll get you out of the house. I looked at Amazon Vine Shay, the lady that was on my live stream a couple months ago, that I guess I made her mad anyway. She was talking about buying and something about you might become inactive on it. It was January of last year was the last time I made an order. And I thought, and I still have it and I could still get on it. I thought, because I've lost my little cord that's USB C to the 3.5 millimeter to plug into my phone so I can hook it up to my stereo in the living room with the auxiliary cord. I needed one of those, so I found the cheapest one I could on Amazon Buying. It was $4.49, something like that. So I thought, I'll test out to see how long you can stay on Amazon Buying without making any kind of orders, and it went through. So I wasn't removed from it. I figured after a couple of months of inactivity, you'd be removed from it, but apparently not. You enjoyed Proxy Picks, but it's a lot of miles too. Yeah, if the miles, like stuff like that, if the miles to dollar to miles ratio is good, it's not so bad. But either way, it's still a lot of money and a lot of miles, or not a lot. Well, I mean, it is a lot of money, but it is a lot of miles on your vehicle. I tell you, the only thing about Amazon buying is you get a 1099 for that free stuff they say is free. You pay the fair market value of the product, the taxes on it. It's a lot of miles and a lot of miles on me too. Yeah. That, there's money to be made out there. You just got to find what you like. The gig apps were great, and I think if you'll remember from some of my first days, some of my first videos. Well, probably not the first videos, but after doing it for about 6 months to a year, I figured out you got to take that flexibility and be working on something else. You can't you can't stay with just DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats and all that indefinitely. You can keep it in the back pocket, but you got enough time, free time, to be working on something else. And that's what I've always said, from way back when I started all that, Dash and Grandpa. Um, and I did. And now look at me. I mean, I'm not saying I'm better. It's better for me, I think. The only thing I miss is being out. I don't have, but the last few days we didn't have any bad weather. It was just really cold, and I'm glad I didn't have to get out in it. You know, I can make as much money sitting right here in front of this computer and in front of that camera as what I can out there in the car in the cold. So, I don't know. But I really think even if you have a regular W-2 job, then you really ought to still be having other sources of income, because you can't depend on one. That was like that video. I don't know if you watched it, the one I put out yesterday. You know, all these big TikTokers making boatloads of money. You can make more. Actually, you can make more on TikTok than you can YouTube. TikTok pays a lot more, but you know, Trump extended it for 75 days. And I thought it was going to be 90, but I read a news break earlier and it was 75 days. If they don't sell 50% of it to the US, then they're out. And, that could happen on any of these platforms. You know, I don't foresee it to happen, but people didn't foresee TikTok to get shut down, and they shut it down themselves. U.S. didn't shut them down. U.S. was going to let them run. They shut it down just to show them. But imagine just doing TikTok and you bought you a $500,000 home or $1 million home because you're making $4,000 a week or a month. Well, maybe more than a month. But there's some of us making $4,000, $5,000 a week. And it gets shut down. You're, 9-line bind. You better have been putting some of that money back and creating other streams of income. I think in that video I did yesterday, I've got 4. I guess gig work, Amazon, selling the products, and then YouTube. Since my channel is monetized now, I mean, if you're going to be doing videos for Amazon, why not put them on YouTube? And now I'm fixing to see about putting them on Pinterest. I don't know how that works. But it's great to be able to be home working and not outside dealing with yeah, exactly. I looked at that Rumble. You told me about that. I didn't get nothing. I looked into it and I quit messing with it. I think I put a video or 2 up and didn't even get one view, I don't think. Well, I didn't know that about TikTok. I don't use TikTok, so I don't listen to too much. Yeah. There's some big TikTokers. You think those YouTube people make big money? Well, some of them that's got brand deals, that they make big money. But some of those TikTokers are making boatloads of money. It's just it's not dependable. If you could do TikTok, you could do Instagram, you could do YouTube. If you're strictly a content creator, I'd have my content on all them platforms. And they say LinkedIn is supposed to be, it's supposed to have a monetization program where you can monetize your LinkedIn. I don't know nothing about it. I always thought that was for business people, and that's where you put your resume at, but apparently not. Yeah, I think you told me about that, and I put it on there, but I never got anything. And it's kind of like with the TikTok. I put a few videos on there, and a few people watched it, and I think I made 42. It showed at one time I made 42 cents. I've never seen the 42 cents, but I'm not sweating it. But I don't have time for it. I've got YouTube, or I've got videos on YouTube is also, but on Amazon that the sellers have changed the links. They changed that ASIN number. And so my video doesn't even go to the product anymore. It goes to, sorry, page not found. I've got 600 and probably 690. I'm fixing to be at 700 videos on Amazon. And, there's probably 50 or 60 of them that ain't going anywhere. And I don't have time to go through there and find out the ones that's got dead links. The same thing on YouTube. Because if the links didn't work on Amazon, they're not going to work on YouTube. So that I could probably increase my income a little bit, maybe not a lot, but a little bit if I got all the links working. But to go through nearly 700 videos and check the links on them, that takes a lot of time, and I just don't have time to do it. Yeah, it's a lot of videos. No doubt. Well, you figure pretty much every day I have one, and I had a month or two that I did 2 a day. I've been busting them out. I don't even know how many. This, if I go to my storefront, actually 701 posts on my storefront on Amazon. I think doesn't YouTube tell you how many videos you got? 699 videos on YouTube. I guess this is technically this live stream's. I guess they don't. It shouldn't be counted yet because I'm not finished. But either this is number 700 or tomorrow's video will be 700. So it's a lot of videos. I've looked at some of the other content creators for Amazon stuff, and they they got bigger YouTube channels, but I got more videos. So, I have over 1,000 videos on my channel. Wow. I about fell over when we focused on that a few weeks ago. That's a lot of videos. You do a lot of live streams though, which that's good. I mean, because a lot of people like the live streams, even if it's just 2 or 3 people. I've watched some bigger YouTube channels. If you sign out of YouTube and then you just go on YouTube and click the YouTube logo, sometimes it'll say live, and I'll click on it. They'll have a lot of subscribers, and there'll be 1 or 2 people watching their live stream. I don't know. There's a lot of yapping that appears. Me too. Look here, it's 11 after 10. I got to do this flashlight because I was waiting until it got dark so I can walk out there and shine it around and say, "Oh, look at how bright it is." And I got a vacuum cleaner back there. I don't know if I'll do that tonight. I may go down a rabbit hole looking at Pinterest here in a little bit, but that's work because I'm trying to spread my wings even further. I'd like to have 5 sources of income. That would be great. You don't know what's going to happen. If my car broke down, there goes Spark. If Amazon decided they didn't want to do on-site commissions anymore, there goes Amazon. If I did something and got deactivated or not deactivated, anyway, kicked off of YouTube, demonetized. There, and I just now got monetized on this channel. There goes that. And this one this first check was a lot more than any of Dash and Grandpa's videos made. I'll tell you, it was $405 is what this one made for that. What was it, a month? So I'm not sure how it's going to pan out because when you look at the daily revenue, it looks like it's dropped down some. But hello, Presley. I was just fixing to get busy working here. Got a flashlight I got to do a review on. Yeah, it was. When I got an email that said Google had paid me, and I looked on there, I was like, wow, $405. Of course, I think 50 of that or so was from Dash and Grandpa's, but $405 for just doing this, you know, I, that's money. That's a third of what I need to. Well, a fourth. Well, no, about a third of what a little less than a third of what I need to make a month, unless this electric bill keeps going like it is, and then I need to make an extra 400 or 500 more just to pay the electric bill. Crazy. Anyway, I actually really am going to go fix me 2 fried burritos, get me a cup of hot sauce or salsa, and see if I can find a YouTube video on Pinterest and see if I can learn something. Then I'm going to do that flashlight review. I don't want to wait too late to eat. That's why I want to go ahead and eat now. But anyway, been fun hanging out. And Presley, sorry, you got here just in time to say goodnight. I did that earlier when Tim was on the live, and when I got home, I clicked on it, and he was like that. He just signed off, I guess. I think I'm gonna get me some ramen. There you go. I don't have any. I like ramen. I know it's zero nutritional value, but I like it. But mine is gonna be two fried uh what do they call it? Chimichangas, the big package you get at Walmart. I'm gonna do two of those in a cup of hot sauce or salsa. I always say hot sauce, and they'll say, "You want Louisiana or what?" No, no, I want like pecani. Oh, that's salsa. Okay, whatever. I like ram. But anyway, I will probably be live tomorrow night on Dash and Grandpa. So maybe we can all hang out and um, get with me when it'll probably be. I mean, I don't know when you wanted to do a live together on your channel, but let me know when you want to do a live. Like Monday or Tuesday night or something like that. Wednesday, unless it's before this one or whenever, just let me know. But I know it'll be next week because I've got National Grandpa tomorrow night, and then I'm probably not going to be home over the weekend, or I'll be in and out a lot. So anyway, we'll talk about it. So I'll catch y'all later. Appreciate you watching, Ray Presley, and if anybody else is here or anybody's watching the replay, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later. Bye.